Welcome along to EXFL Tier 2 Season 11, Round 3, the Bahrain Grand Prix under the night sky. Qualifying has begun, 18 minutes ahead of us, 14 drivers. And yeah, Round 3 of 20 at Sakir. Right. First out on the track was Christian in the McLaren, cutting across turn 5 and 6. I think P10 and P11 so far this season, 1 point to his name. So we'll be hoping for at least a top 9 maybe, best points finish of the season. We'll just go in order. That's Warren serving his qualifying ban, as that's Charlie exiting the pit lane, who's already damaged his front wing on the exit of turn 2. Bluey has unfortunately left the session, and that's retired him. So there's already 2 out, so those will probably be the 7th row on the grid. So yeah, we have Dello in the Ferrari. Had connection issues at the end of last week's race at Japan. Still managed to put in P6 in the end after not finishing the first round, after not making it past the second corner on the opening lap. So 8 points to his name. And Ferrari in general so far this season. Yeah, we have Charlie, who I think finished 6th or 7th in the opening race in Australia. Didn't race last week, is back this week. Not the start you would have wanted with the broken wing. Samurai, one of the championship leaders, technically leads it on 37 points with a P1 and a P4. And if we look further down to Evan, he's the other championship leader with a P4 and a P1. Last time out, getting his first pole, his first win, his first podium. It was a class drive from the Aston Martin, where he said this time last week, don't expect anything from me, and he pulled out one of the best masterclass drives we've seen in a while. But now today he's being really serious, saying don't expect much from me in terms of a podium or a win. We have that F1 boy, Abra, racing in EXFL for the first time in nearly 5 years. He was here in the first season of Tier 2 in the first half. So 5 years later, he says this is his first league race in about a year. So it's nice to see him reserving in the Alpine. He'll probably get that Alpine seat after today as well. So yeah, we'll see what he can do. And how close to the pace will he be? We've got Grush, who got his first podium in his second race last time out. Just holding off Samurai, who had to make the 2-stop due to his tyres. So we've got Grush in the Red Bull for his third outing in EXFL Tier 2. Frosty Life, his 132nd outing in Tier 2, puts him only 1 behind Seb's all-time record of 133. Like I said, Christian starting his lap. We've got a few behind as that F1 boy goes to P2 now, displaced by Cobb or Kobe, also making his debut today, the second Williams driver. After unfortunately missing the first couple races, Kobe is here, the debutant for tonight. We'll see what he can do. A 28.7, really solid banker. But Eggy has gone 200ths quicker than that. Still looking for his first pole position is the Mercedes. Samurai, Grush, Frosty. Yeah, we have Nathan in the pit lane. RB have scored in both races so far, both drivers. So we'll see if they can continue that. And yeah, like I said, Warren has served his qualifying ban from causing some incidents last time out. And that is everyone apart from Yonder, who's back in his Ferrari for the first time, missing the first couple races. Drove for McLaren last season when he got his official seat. And it was around about, I think, this race last season where he made his debut. So he's currently 1.2 seconds off the pace. Frosty, just under 2/10 off Eggy. So it's great to see Cobb up there. So I'm sure we'll see his name in the fight. And that means Williams have a really solid lineup, as we'll look back to Samurai, 28.9 in the first sector. We see, I think that's Grush about to cross the line. P4. And a 7.5 in the middle sector. Bit of a slide on the entry. As we see Christian coming into the pit lane, invalidated. I believe that's Cobb also heading into the pit lane. So we'll see what his teammate can do. Navik was on the inters. Yep, so Samurai across the line. It's a 1 minute 29.8. Put him 1.1 off. Remember, this was the same case last week where his first run was quite a way off and then his second run really delivered. So we're going to see the Alpine of Abrar heading in as well. Is that Dello in sector 1? This is Yonder, 2 seconds down. He might be doing another run now. So, foot flat to the floor, approaching 200 miles an hour as you head into turn 1. Heavy braking when the curb begins. Don't really want to take too much of the inside curb, which he definitely doesn't. Build the power up over turn 2. It's about how committed you are on the throttle with the confidence to ease past 2 and 3. DRS open, heavy braking down into 4. Using all the curb you need. And once again, confidence on the throttle. When are you going to be able to get on it the earliest? Through turn 5 and 6, which in time trial and whatnot is actually quite flat. Unlike previous games, into the hairpin. No signs of struggle or a lock-up. So now into the turn 9-10 complex. Very difficult corner to get right. A little bit of a lock-up. On the power now. DRS open for the 3rd time in the lap. So race 1 had 4 DRS zones. Last week had 1. We're back up to 3 now. As he makes his way through 11, 12, 13, all flat. Finishing the middle sector split. What was Samurai? 7.5, 6.8 for Yonder, but Samurai is now gone a 10th quicker. Like I said, his second run was the improvement. So this hasn't been a bad lap from Yonder. 1 corner to go then. Comes at you quite quickly, this one. Little bit of a struggle in the exit. Once again, just trying to get the power down. Blast anything he's got left. DRS open for the 4th time. 5th. And that 4th is technically part of the first time. So it's, like I said, only 3. But yeah, Williams 1 and 3 at the moment. Eggy on his second run. So yeah, Samurai took pole in the opening race of the season. Evan took pole in the second race, and they both converted those into victory. Eggy, whose highest qualifying position has been second twice, so it would be a 3rd at the moment, unless he can find another 10th. What about Dello, Yonder's teammate, going about halfway through the lap? Alright, anyway, back to Dello. 14.8, so he's clearly not on an actual lap. Cobb, he's up by quite a few tenths in the first sector, so he's definitely in the fight here. So we'll carry it on. Lot of locking into turn 10 there. And sliding on the exit as well. Crazy movement from the Williams. We'll see what his second sector split is then. I'll be quite surprised if it's still improved. Oh my lord, it is by quite some margin there, even after what looked like an interesting turn 10 entry. So Cobb really showing the pace on debut into the final corner. His teammate is the championship leader and currently on provisional pole. But I believe he's about to smash that. Maybe even dive into the 27s. Crosses the line. Lost a bit of time, but it's still the new provisional pole time with a 28.2. I think I was talking to, what was it, Christian yesterday. He said, what times do you expect? I said, pole will probably be a low 28, which it is. So it's nothing out of the ordinary. And I said everyone else should be high 28s, 29s, 30s and whatnot. As Christian goes P4. Well, we mentioned all that. So really good lap from the McLaren. But now it's Eggy's turn. He's found some time in the first sector too. The track is ramping up. What can Eggy do in the middle sector? Looks a little bit more off. He's pretty much up by the same amount of time, which will be good enough to get him back on the front row, but he's still going to need to find a lot of time in what is only really 2 corners for the final sector. Across the line, that was Evan, I think. 2.5 seconds down. He wasn't joking. Eggy to cross the line then. How close can he get? He can pretty much halve the advantage. Found found another tenth and a bit in the last. But he's still lacking about 2/10 from Cobb. 7 minutes to go. He'll definitely be able to go again. Samurai still on an out lap. Frosty Life, I believe, on a lap. And he set an identical first sector to his first run. So diving in, I was going to say, how was that not invalid on the entry? But that was definitely invalid on the apex. And that's Yonder going very wide and off the track. So he's not on a lap. Grush, first sector. Down by a tenth and a bit. Evan. And now Frosty's left. Evan up by a second. Well, a second would only get him one place, really. So unless he made a big mistake in the last sector, this is Evan, one of the championship leaders. Struggling on time. But across the line now, it's a 1 minute 29.4 to put himself P7. But yeah, 1.2 seconds down. Samurai. Wow. That is a mighty first sector for the championship leader. Oh, but that's wide slightly for the Williams. I was going to say, both Williams looking in real contention here. They both went into the season as rookies. And in the first two races, Samurai has impressed as Grush goes P6 ahead of Yonder. But now Samurai, who's up by half a second, is looking to snatch back provisional pole and make it a Williams front row lockout. We've seen Williams in the past do pretty well on the occasion, but this could be for the season. Samurai, the championship leader, first and fourth so far this season. One pole, and I think he qualified fourth, so he's finished where he's qualified, crosses the line, and it is provisional pole for Samurai. Lost a bit of time in the last sector, but he's ahead of Cobb by 68 thousandths. Game on. As Eggy, the two McLarens, who are also doing a really good job up there in the top 5, are in the pit lane. Grush will obviously head back into the pits. Delo's clearly not on a lap. Evan is on an invalid. Abra's in the pit lane. What about Charlie? Up by half a second. Still waiting on Nathan to do a lap as well. .6 for Nathan in the middle. See what Charlie can do. Oh, this heat is unbearable. 8.3 for Charlie. So Nathan's going quicker at the moment than the Salbert. See Nathan cross the line then. 28.1 is provisional pole time. He'll do a 30.1 to put himself into the top 10. And this will be close to see if Charlie will beat Abra or Charlie will stay where he is. This could be a 30 for him as well. 30.7. He stays where he is for now. So with 3 minutes 40 left on the clock, Samurai's in. And Cobb is about to finish his first sector split. Fighting back at Samurai. Finishes the first sector. He's found more time as well. He's done a 0.2. So advantage Cobb, who's got half a tenth on Samurai in the first sector. And they're getting ever closer and closer to the 27s. Really mounting the inside curve there at turn 10. Not locking the fronts as much. He's giving it absolutely everything as the Williams. Diving into turn 11. Slightly wide though on the exit. Might lose him a bit of time. But I'm sure he's still up by at least a tenth. Finishing the middle sector. He's up by nearly 3/10. So now he's just got to keep it planted. One corner to go then. Could we see him diving into the 27s on debut? It's been very impressive so far. And this might be his last run. But it might be the run that counts. And the run up to the line. Will it deliver him? Pole position across the line. It's a 27.8 for Cobb. And that is going to take some beating. to deny Cobb a pole position on debut. And what can the rest do to challenge then? That is a very good time. I mean, Tier 1 will probably be, I don't know, a low 27, maybe just in the 26s. It might be a bit similar to Japan, actually, with the lap times. And Saudi. Saudi might be a second slower or quicker. It usually always is. Samurai, Eggy, and Christian all on outlaps. Now Frosty Life 2. Christian, if he can hold on to 4th, that would be a career best qualifying. I think I remember, was it Austria last season? He, whether he qualified 4th or 5th, or by lap 1 he was up to 4th or 5th. Yonder's also got some time to find, hopefully. As Ferrari are 7th and 8th, McLaren are 4th and 5th, and Williams are 1st and 2nd. With a Mercedes and Red Bull splitting them. So some of the best and nice looking cars, at least all at the front. Evan with 1 minute 12 to go. This is his last run. And Abrod just in front of him. Diving into turn 1 then. Goes the Aston Martin, lighting up the rears slightly. DRS open. Blasting his battery into turn 4. Round 4 on the exit. Keeping it well. 28-1 in the first sector. Wow. I think that was a little bit of a lock-up into the hairpin. Abel's going to have to get out of the way. Unless he's on a lap 2, then it may cost Evan. Or could give him some slipstream if he catches him at the right part. But he may have started his lap a bit too close to Abel. This may hold him up because he's done the best first sector we've seen so far. But you can see how far Abra is off the pace. And that may cost him with dirty air. Or it may help him with slipstream. As Yonder goes P4 in the end. And you can see Evans up. And we don't know whether this dirty air is going to cost him or not. Or like I said, the slipstream here is going to help him. Because he's not right behind the Alpine. But especially this corner might hurt. As Hebrar loses it. Clearly showing he's out of practice. Across the line then as Christian's 5th at best. Evan crosses the line. Evan's on pole position. And Cobb can't go any quicker. So Evan right at the end. Got a great slipstream from Abra. And Evan could make it back-to-back poles unless someone can deny him. Samurai's down in the first sector. What about Eggy? Through the middle sector. He's never been on pole position before. He's up by a couple tenths, but that is nowhere near enough. So Evan, once again, like right at the end of Japan last week, snatched it. What about Frosty Life? Is invalidated, so he's going to be out-qualified by Christian. P6 and 7 currently for them two. Eggy will cross the line then. Across the line for the Mercedes. He stays where he is. Samurai right behind. Up slightly, but it's not enough. Evan's going to be on pole for the second week in a row. Dello crosses the line. It's P9 for him. And Frosty, 7th. Yonder invalidated. That is the grid. Cobb on debut. It looked really certain it was going to be pole position, but Evan right at the end got quite the slipstream from Abra and has bagged his second pole position. He said, don't expect anything. I'm being for real this time. Well, a bit of luck helped as well, but he's got pole position once again. I mean, it's kind of fitting we're at Bahrain, considering, well, at least in the UK, the heat is unbearable, so it kind of simulates from that track over here. Charlie saying his knee, he's got an issue with his knee or something. Can't brake. It's a bit concerning heading into turn 1. So if he suddenly retires out of the blue, I guess we know why. Bit of a range of strategy there. The pole man on the hards, most on the mediums, a few on the softs. I feel this is going to be a bit more of a struggle to get the one stop done than the last 2 races in Australia and Japan. Obviously, we've had 2 dry races so far this season in Tier 2. We had a wet qualifying for Australia, but that was it. And we'll begin the formation lap then. Evan will lead them away. Bit of a burnout across the start-finish line there. Okay, interesting. So, everyone on the mediums, apart from Grush and Warren at the back. He's going to hope to make up some places cleanly, I hope. Really slowing down into turn 1 there. But yeah, Grush also trying to gain some ground at the start then. For them two, I definitely think they're going to do a 2-stop. I really want... If there's no safety cars at the start to extend the tyre life, I'm actually very intrigued. 29 laps here to see if anyone will try the 1-stop. But yeah, this looks a lot more apparent than Japan and Australia with the tyre wear. And I've just remembered we've got 3 night races in a row, starting with this one, Bahrain, and then we're off to Saudi next week, and then Qatar to complete a little triple header under the night sky. So I think for the next 3 weeks, we're pretty much guaranteed 6 dry sessions. So that should restrict any question of rain, and then we'll begin the European season with, I think, Imola. Well, a double header at Italy as well, both Imola and Monza. And then, you know, your usual Spain, Austria, Britain, Hungary, Belgium, Netherlands, to finish it with, I think it's in Europe, with Baku. It's on the limit, I guess. And then obviously more towards North America and South America and whatnot. But that's way later on. We're only at round 3. As Evan, Cobb, or Kobe, and Samurai and Eggy will slot on to the first 2 rows. As that's Cobb failing his grid slot. That's going to give his teammate a little bit of incentive. As that's Charlie in the background having a slide. Really trying to get some temp in his tyres. Bluey's back in his car. So is Warren. I think everyone is now, so that's good. And we can get the Bahrain Grand Prix underway. A track that usually hosted the season opener for most of the EXFL seasons. Then gone to round 3 for this season. But yeah, we're all set then. This is round 3 of 20 in Tier 2, Season 11. It's the Bahrain Grand Prix. It's lights out and away we go. Evan versus Cobb off the line. Eggy and Samurai looking behind to see if they can try and gain any momentum. Evan looks like he'll lead into turn 1. Late on the brakes is the Williams. Evan leaves in the space. Kobe versus Evan into turn 2. Who's going to lead? Kobe on debut is now in the lead ahead. And now the Williams and the Mercedes are all fighting away. It's nearly 4 wide heading into turn 4. Evan snatches back the lead. Kobe trying to hang it around the outside. They are as they were, the top 4 for now into the sector 1. As they remain how they were, even after all that squabbling. Christian holds on the 5th. Della and Yonder ahead of Frosty Life. Grush down a place, even after starting on the softs, as that's the Ferrari going wide of Yonder. As Grush to the inside, trying to maximise the opportunity. Both RBs behind Charlie. Warren now fighting away with the Sauber as Abrod drops down to last. Evan, then the 2 Williams of Kobe and Samurai nearly swapping there, as we can see there. The potential strategies. Potential 2-stop. Like I said, the 1-stop would be quite the challenge today. So Evan momentarily lost the lead, but gained it back. And Kobe, we can see, struggling as Evan starts to pull away. And they all were just a bit hesitant. They all just were thinking about lap 29 instead of lap 1. And Christian, a bit like Austria last season, doing well in the top 5. But how long can he hold on to it is the question. He's putting Eggy under quite a bit of pressure. McLaren, Ferrari through 5th down to 8th as we see Warren versus Grush, yellow flag, and that's Dello unfortunately been spun round at the final corner. That'll drop him all the way down to last. So nearly a second gap between Evan to Kobe, Samurai, Eggy, then Christian, Frosty up to 6 now ahead of Yonder as the two RBs fight once again into turn 2. Slight contact, they connect and they go off. I think that's the first time we've seen those two potentially make contact with one another. As we see Charlie still fighting away with Warren. It looks like everyone up ahead is far enough spaced out. And Warren diving to the inside, holding on to P11. Good commitment from the Haas there. So he's up 3 places from where he started. So 1.1 second gap then. As we enable everything else. Biggest gainer at the moment. Bluey and Warren. Those were the ones who had the most issues, as that's a swap for the 2 Williams. And now it's a swap back. Kobe back in front of Samurai. Kobe not struggling for battery as Samurai to the inside. The 2 Williams really close to contact there as they're getting their elbows out, allowing Evan to get ahead. Cobb staying ahead of his teammate. So maybe he's just struggling a bit for battery. And there's a bollard going straight over to the left. And if it wasn't for Evan, this would be a bit reminiscent of 96 with the 2 Williams out in front fighting for high positions. And now it is like 96 because Evan has spun round the final corner from the lead. And that's the second lap in a row we've seen someone spin there. So it's a Williams 1-2 and they're fighting down into turn 1. Samurai versus Kobe. Samurai now in the lead of the Bahrain Grand Prix. Eggy's up to 3rd, then the 2 McLarens, then Yonder, then Grush. Evans made a massive mistake there. Something you did not see at all last week. And now he's got it all to do. So, 2 Williams in their rookie season, 1 and 2. Kobe in his rookie debut at the moment. Looks like he was struggling for pace. His teammate got round him. And Eggy still in the fight. And Christian, this is definitely so far the best opening 3 laps of any race he's done in his EXFL career. He's keeping it consistent. Frosty, considering he was down in 8th at one point, has done well to gain some ground too. 1 second already. Samurai looking to have the pace. Warren, 3-second time penalty. As we can see, these 4 right at the back. And that's Bluey nearly going off in a straight line. So, will it be a 3rd lap in a row someone loses it? Whether it's on the apex or the exit of the last corner. Christian now gets a time penalty, unfortunately. That does put him really close to Eggy. You can see he's actually got the highest battery of anyone in the top 4. Both McLarens doing really well. Christian nearly runs into Eggy. Another bollard gone. So far, so good. No one losing it this time. So Samurai still within a second. As there goes Christian ahead of Eggy, blasting all his battery that he has saved. Eggy hasn't got much. Now we have a yellow. I think it was at the back. Samurai still ahead of Kobe, still ahead of Christian. They're all still within DRS of one another. That's going wide. Yonder. That Ferrari didn't look great through turn 3. Grush is ahead of him now and to the inside. Frosty Life versus Eggy as well. But Eggy will have the momentum around the outside. And Eggy holds on. We have a yellow. That is Dello. And that drops him all the way back down to last. The 2 Williams have a chance here to extend over a second ahead of Christian, who's up running in 3rd at the moment. Unfortunate with that 3 set, but by the end of the race, it might not even matter. Eggy in a McLaren sandwich then. Grush, those softs are going to wear out soon for him as well. 4 laps in. And if it's only 8 laps they're recommending for the mediums, then yeah, his softs are definitely going to start wearing out. And I do not know what happened to Yonder through 2 and 3 there. But he lost a lot of time. And Evan has joined this 8-car fight. It might separate soon with the 2 Williams having over a second advantage. But Christian has 70% to Cobb, who has nothing really. And Samurai, who has about half of that. And he is within a second, so he should get DRS again. But Bahrain's a bit glitchy, but, well, he's still got it. Sometimes you can even be within 8/10 of that detection, and sometimes it doesn't work. Frosty close to Eggy, who's not really got that much battery. Frosty's in the slipstream. Will he go for a move to the inside on the Mercedes? Not quite. He thinks better of it. So now it really is a DRS train. From 1st down to 8th, the 2 RBs holding on to the last 2 points paying positions as Evan gets past Yondu once again. Has messed up at 3. And look at that, Nathan's nearly catching these guys. He's used a lot of battery though. And Christian, always at this area of the track, gets gapped by a second, but through the hairpin he does seem to do pretty well. As we can see Cobb picking it up a bit, putting his teammate under pressure. This is great stuff so far. Only a 1/6 of the way done. And this time he's not going to get DRS. And I applaud any of the drivers here who are from the UK racing in this heat. I had to turn my fan off so, you know, the audio and on the comms would be hearable. But this is just talking. These guys are racing for nearly an hour. So Samurai still in front of Cobb, who's going to be able to save a bit of battery now. He's going to follow his teammates' lines and whatnot. Christian, this might be the lap where he starts to fall behind and be under pressure from Eggy. But he's nearly gapped Eggy by a second as they go to the detection. And it is over a second. So Eggy's struggling too. And that's going to allow Frosty Life to potentially make it a Williams 1-2 and a McLaren 3-4. DRS for Frosty. No DRS for Eggy. And he's gaining in the slipstream. He's going to pull to the right. Use a bit of battery for good measure. To the inside then. Frosty Life versus Eggy, and he gets the move done into 1, and Grush to the inside fighting away with the Mercedes, but Eggy has the better traction, probably the better tyres, and holds on to 5th at least. Williams 1-2, McLaren 3-4. It really is like the 90s now. And that's Evan close to Grush. Grush still letting Eggy know he's there. Yonder on the back of this train now. So unfortunate that Christian has that 3. But Frosty will try and close in as Warren making a move on the RB. They're wheel to wheel. Bluey holds on at the moment. But now Warren spies a gap to the inside. Leaves the room for Bluey. They're wheel to wheel. And they make slight contact. Bluey goes off. Rejoins. Warren's got the place on the RB. Charlie watching this unfold. And we can see Samurai's got Cobb by nearly a second there. Christian 1.3 behind. Frosty just within a second. And they're all a bit spaced out, are the top 5. Nathan, like a lot of the time, a bit on his own, unfortunately. But still in the points, like a lot of the time, which is great to say. As the top 4 all separated by a second nearly. Frosty, well, there's the detection. Frosty should have DRS, and Christian might just have DRS. I don't think Cobb will. And look, he's got no battery. And look at that, Christian has got the DRS. That's going to really close him up too. I don't expect any moves. We've got a yellow at the back. It's Charlie around at the penultimate corner. Spinning around in 14th. Into turn 1. Yeah, no moves were made in the top 8. Louis putting Warren under pressure. Warren goes defensive. And that might be a warning. Bluey can switch back now, using the battery in turn 2. Will he go around the outside of Warren, who leaves the space? Oh, what a move from Bluey there. They're still locking side pods and tyres there, which allows Warren to have a slight edge. Banging wheels into turn 4. Bluey goes so far deep into turn 4. He goes into the gravel. Oh, so unfortunate as Evan Navick gets past Grush. I'm sure his softs are going to be really deteriorating soon. And Evan should surely get him as well. Ah, Warren back ahead of Bluey then. Bluey made a big mistake there. It's very interesting from Christian. With his pace at the moment. I mean, he's the only one not in the 32s for a fastest lap. But that doesn't really matter. Because that was only in the first few laps. A whole load of variables could have stopped that. But yeah, you can see Cobb just hasn't saved his battery. I mean, Christian doesn't have much more, but at least he has over 10%. And look at that, Frosty as well. These 3 really struggling. That's allowing Samurai, it doesn't really have that much either, to just hold on. And Eggy also really, like they're really blasting a lot of their battery. Most of the top 6. Evan's doing all right, though. Yeah, Evan's doing the best out of them all. They're really going for it, a lot of them. I think no more than Christian. Christian's really going for it. This is like we've never seen from the McLaren. 36 races, I think. This is his 36th today. Joined at the halfway stage of Tier 2 nearly a year ago. I think it was Canada he made his debut. It was Eggy back in front of Frosty until Frosty back around the outside ahead of the Mercedes. And Evan, who was the race leader, is now going to try and get a move on, but he's made a big lock-up into 10. But no threat from behind of Grush. 8 laps in, so could we potentially see someone into the pit lane by the end of this lap? Nathan isn't losing a whole load to these guys. It was 3.5, now it's 4.5. Warren a bit on his own as well. Abra's got past Bluey, Dello and Charlie a bit on their own. So yeah, very close. I'd say any of the top 8 are still well in this. Because as much as Christian has a 3, we still have 21 laps to go. So Samurai, round the final corner. He will be coming into the pit lane. So the leader decides to pit. And Frosty Life. And Eggy, right at the last second, decides to follow him in. And Grush doesn't pit while he's on the softs. And that allows Yonder to get past up in a 4th. So, of the 8 cars that were in the train, 3 have pitted. Samurai, as Evan now gets a 3-second time penalty. So Samurai pits onto the hard compound tyres. Frosty onto the hards. Eggy on the mediums. So Eggy's gone medium. He will have to pit again. There's Abra exiting the... Eggy exiting the pit lane behind Abra, so that's split them. So Frosty and Samurai, well, they can try and go to the end, but that is going to be quite a measure. Bluey pits onto the hards as well. So Abra in between Frosty and Eggy, so Eggy's going to have to try and get past the Alpine. Evan closing up with all the battery he has, but to be fair, Christian's saved a lot as well. And Cobb, I haven't seen his battery go above 20 for the last however many laps. So this is bringing Evan back into play. Even after a spin, we could still see him up there. But with that 3-second, that could be quite costly. Yonder's a bit on his own. Still bringing Grush along with him. There's Eggy getting past Abra. Not really putting up a fight. Fair enough. That's going to bring him a bit closer to Frosty. He was right behind him heading into the pit lane. But yeah, he's lost some time. So, back to the front. Kobe's in. Christian follows. And Eggy. And Evan. Christian speeds, unfortunately, into the pit lane. It is a pit lane that has caught a few people out in the past. And now Christian, unfortunately, becomes one of them. We have a yellow. And that's a Charlie round again. At turn 11. So Yonder stays out to take the lead. There's Samurai. There's Kobe. And Kobe should still emerge in between. As the 2 McLarens are going to be quite close. There's Frosty Life. There's Christian. And Frosty round the outside on warmer tyres. Stays behind his teammate for now. Does Christian let Frosty go due to all the penalties he has? Because Frosty is not exactly close enough for a move. Evan has overcut Eggy, who still has to stop again. Evan pitted for the hards. So did... Christian's pitted for medium, so Christian will have to pit again. So yeah, Christian will have to pit again, and Eggy will have to pit again. And yeah, Kobe, look, 4 seconds now behind Samurai. He saved a bit of battery. He hasn't exactly done turn 10 that well. And that's going to put Christian all over the back of the Williams. They're both blasting their battery into turn 11. And it looks like Christian's going to get into P3 ahead of the Williams. Really unfortunately he has all those pens because he's driving really well today. But it's Williams, McLaren with a Ferrari out in front. And is Yonder maybe going to go for the 1 stop? As well, because if those who even pitted onto hards can't go to the end, it's not the worst strategy from Yonder to extend his first stint. If he can make it to at least lap 13 potentially, he's looking in a really good position. As we saw, Grush has been left by this train now, so it becomes a bit more of a 7 or 6 car fight into turn 1 to the inside. Evan braking quite late there, letting Frosty know. And yeah, all aboard We saw last season there was quite a train in a fight for P2. I mean, once Yonder pits, it will be a fight for P2, where we saw Eggy make that incredible quadruple overtake. He's got 4 cars ahead of him as well, for that matter. But I think to pull off a 4-car move this time round will be so much more difficult, as that's Kobe now with a 3-second time penalty. Who knows what this podium's going to end up being. I mean, and for Warren, Dello, Bluey, Abra and Charlie's sake, they're going to hope for a safety car of some sorts to bring them back to any chance of points. We see Bluey to the inside. Can't quite get past Dello. We have a yellow. That's Charlie on a straight, causing yellows. That's Frosty and Kobe fighting, as Kobe just hangs it onto the place but goes wide in doing so, and that's going to allow Frosty to gain the momentum and get up in a 4th. Kobe's still on his inside though, fighting away. That might be a warning for the McLaren. They're still wheel to wheel. Kobe to the inside, bashes Frosty off the track there, but lets him go. Frosty, I don't know if he has an illegal overtake though. Stays ahead for now. Evan all over the back of these guys too. I think Frosty just got away with that, and Kobe letting him go after that mistake. So Frosty ahead. Yeah, Kobe got overtaken by Christian around turn 11 the other lap, and now Frosty's on the same, but he's got no DRS, and this might allow Evan to make a double move into turn 1. Later on the brakes goes the Aston Martin versus Frosty versus Kobe, wheel to wheel into turn 2. Evan round the outside. What a move from the Aston Martin. He picked his moment, and it was the right one. And now Kobe's under pressure from Frosty Life, who barely has any battery. Kobe locks up to turn 4. And Frosty's back ahead. But Evan is ahead of the pair of them. I mean, Frosty doesn't have a pen, and he's fighting with people who do. So he doesn't have to risk too much. And even while all of them are fighting, Christian is maintaining the gap to Samurai. Yes, Christian has better tyres than him on the mediums. But still. And the gap was, what, 13 seconds 2 laps ago? It's now down to 8.8. But Yonder's going to be on so much better tyres. I wouldn't blame him if he pits this lap. But if he can go one more as Charlie's retired in the pit lane, that's fine. If Yonder can maybe go one more lap, then he's definitely going to be on for a 1-stop. If he pits now, I mean, his tyres will be in interesting shape by the end. And he is going one more lap. Number 72. He doesn't really like to get involved in too much. He's doing his own thing. And it's going to be very interesting to see if it pays off. He will be in pretty free air. He'll come out somewhere around Grush or Nathan. And as Nevic sets the fastest lap, if they keep squabbling, you never know. There's yellows, so I don't think they can overtake here per se. No one's really overtaking anyways. But yeah, Charlie's car will clear up. There we go. They're all a bit spaced. Eggy's not doing a lot on these mediums. I did expect him to be ahead of a few of these cars. But I'm just wondering if right now as Christian gets another time penalty. I'm just wondering if Eggy's thinking his race is a bit lost now because he's behind all these guys and he's got to make another stop. Same with Christian. Christian's at the front of this train and he's got to make another stop. So if these two have to make another stop and Yonder has to make one more, then Yonder is at least 5th, I think. You got Samurai, Christian. I mean, he'll beat Christian, I think. Let's be honest here. So you got Samurai, Evan, Frosty, Kobe, and then Yonder. So Yonder, I think, at worst, will be 5th. So this has worked out for him pretty well. I mean, Christian will definitely drop because he has to pit again and serve the 10. He's going to be way behind. So yeah, Christian and Eggy out of the equation when they pit again. Kobe, Frosty, Evan, Samurai, Yonder. Oh, as Yonder speeds into the pit lane. What was going to be a very interesting strategy. Oh my god, I think he's got a puncture. That may have been why he sped into the pit lane. His front left punctured right at the end there. That may have thwarted his stopping momentum, because that's going to drop him all the way down to where I expected, between Grush and Nathan. But he has a 10-second time penalty for speeding in the pit lane. Probably most due to that puncture. He went 13 laps, nearly half the race. His tyres in the excess of maybe 80, 90, clearly 100%. So you can get punctures on this damage model, but I'm guessing only when it gets to 100. Wow. Yeah, 16 seconds off the lead. That has destroyed any possible chance of maybe higher than 5th, I guess. Eggy could still find himself where he is. Grush could definitely find himself a few places higher, but Grush will surely pit again as well. He's gone soft medium. No way is he going to the end either. So Yonder has a 10. Grush will have to pit again. Eggy will have to pit again. Christian will have to pit again. He's only lost a couple tenths to Samurai. Evans closed up as well. Even after that spin, he's done really well. And now he'll probably see himself in second. McLaren in general have still done a really good job. Kobe, unfortunately, I think is just lacking a bit of race pace and battery saving on debut. It's understandable. As Eggy's close to him. And now we're probably going to see, yep, Evan blast a bit of battery. Being the slipstream. I mean, Christian has so much battery. But Evan's closing up. And is he close enough for a move? Or will he wait for turn 4? No, he's going to go for it. Into 1. Goes Evan. Christian doesn't fight it. And the two McLarens come together. Christian will dive across turn 3. Probably get another time penalty. Which he does. And he went very wide. So Frosty thought he was opening the door. I'm really not sure if he was or not. Like there's another chance for him to open the door. And Frosty does get ahead of his teammate this time. McLaren. That was not in the script. As Yonder and Nathan fight away. Yonder around the outside of the RB. And looks like he's got the place. I swear he was ahead anyway. But anyway, he must have messed up turn 3 again. So Frosty, who doesn't have a penalty, is on for a 1-stop. Now has to try and stay within 3 seconds of Evan. The top 2 in the World Championship, level on points of 37 and 37. Well, if Evan can get over 3 seconds, they're still going to be the top 2, but Samurai will lead by 7 points ahead of Evan, who's closing in slightly on Samurai. As you can see, purple middle sector. Frosty Life now gets the 3 seconds. That definitely confirms the top 2 for now. And if Eggy didn't have to pit again, he would be in a really good position because everyone ahead of him, bar Samurai, has pens. But he has to pit again, as does Christian. So the top 4 would probably be Samurai, Evan, Frosty and Kobe. 5th onwards, maybe even Grush. But no, again, Grush has to pit. So, and again, I have no idea. Probably Eggy would be 5th. Because Christian will have to serve his pen. Grush and Yonder are too far behind. He'll have to pit again. So yeah. Well, it was lap 8 when the medium runners mainly started to pit. It's been 8 more laps. So for those like Christian and Eggy, they may have to pit now or in a lap or so. Yonder's still under pressure from Nathan. And Nathan, as Yonder has a 10, could be on for P8 here. What was that, an 8th points finish in a row? Really strong stuff from the RB. Warren. There's a 3. Bit in no man's land at the moment. Not really going to hang on to the point. But may hang on to it now, I was going to say, because Dello was in within 6 seconds, but now he's not. Both Ferraris struggling at that area. 3.3, Evans closing the gap slightly. It was 3.8, now it's 3.2 at this corner. So as long as Samurai keeps it well on warnings, he should be fine. It's cool to see the winners from the top 2, from the first 2 races, B1 and 2 in round 3. One's closing in on the other. One's clearly either pushing. Well, I think that explains it. Samurai's not really pushing if he's got that much battery. And Evan clearly is. People like Christian and Eggy and Grush, they're going to really have to hope for a safety car here. As that's Christian being overtaken by Kobe. Bit of a lock-up. So Kobe will be fighting Frosty for... Oh my god, that's definitely a warning. For the McLaren. Kobe will be fighting Frosty for the last spot on the podium, it seems. We have a yellow, and that is Dello. Another spin. Really struggling on his tyres. Kobe holds off Christian. Eggy falling ever further behind now. Christian and Eggy close on track. I'm sure Eggy will be far ahead once Christian serves his 10. He's got 9 seconds of penalties now, even without the 10 second for speeding. And as for Yonder, even without that 10, the gap was 15 seconds he was off the lead. Now it's 17. So Yeah, even without the speeding, Yonder probably wasn't going to be able to do anything pretty magic, per se. Look at 2.5 seconds now. Evans lapping about 0.6 quicker each lap than Samurai. Samurai is saving his battery, so clearly he's got the pace to go quicker, but he's not choosing to. Put it back to that. There we go. So yeah, Frosty versus Kobe for a podium. Neither have had a podium so far this season. Kobe in his first race would love a podium on debut. Frosty, he's had quite a few to his name. What was it, 15, 16 podiums? I think it's 16. Looking for a 17th. Trying to break the toe. Moves right. Moves back left. Moves right again. Got a yellow again of Dello. I think that was just okay from Frosty. It may have been one too many moves. But he's all under pressure from Kobe. Frosty goes right to defend. And that's helped him a little. Blasting the little bit of battery he has left. Kobe's going to go round the outside. The Williams versus the McLaren. And he's done it. A smooth, very nice move from the Williams there of Kobe to put himself fully round and ahead of the defending Frosty Life. And it really did. It always looks like from that turn 4 angle, the guy's just going to turn in on him. But yeah, Kobe up to third now. It looks like he's got good pace. 2 seconds now. Evans gained another practically half a second, 0.6. Christian and Eggy still staying out. As like I said, 5th, 6th and 7th are pretty much going to have to pit again. As for Yonder, can he get 10 seconds ahead of these guys once they've pitted? Definitely Christian. As for Eggy and Grush, maybe. Nathan's going to be promoted up to 6th at this rate. Oh wait, he has to pit again, doesn't he? Never mind. 1.7 then. Frosty's still closing... Keeping close to Kobe. Both have no battery, really. 1.7. Yeah, we can see as Frosty has... Oh, he's sped. Why have... Really no coordination of McLaren going on here. So Frosty came in when he didn't really have to, but he's done it anyway. He's sped. He's stacked with his teammate, who's serving his 10-second. Eggy's in as well, so both McLarens and Eggy pit. They rejoin in 7th, 8th, and 10th. So one one's up to 9th. That promotes Nathan up into 6th, within 10 seconds of Yonder for a 5th, which would be really cool. And Grush has to pit, so that will promote Nathan up to 5th with a potential 4th. 1 second now between Evan and Samurai. I'm going to quickly change my batteries. Lap 19, about to be lap 20. Evan is pretty much within a second. He might just get DRS there. We're about to see. Does he? He does. The top 2 in the race. The top 2 in the championship. Evan has been lapping constant mid 132.6s for the last however many laps. Samurai has been lapping low 33s. And Evan has been closing 0.6 on average each lap on the leader. And has now caught him. 9 to go. Can Evan get past Samurai, gap him by 3 seconds as Grush is into the pit lane, and win the Grand Prix? They know whoever wins today will lead the championship. Whoever beats the other, it's only round 3, it's still early doors, but it looks like these two are definitely 2 of the main contenders for this season. Grush will exit the pit lane, as Nathan has to pit as well. I completely forgot. Every time I think this driver's safe, no, they have to pit as well. They have to pit again as well. So Grush exits the pits in 7th. Nathan will exit the pits in 9th. Warren looks like he's just going to try and stay out as long as he can. But I'm pretty sure he might have to pit again as well. So after all that, Yonder has a 10-second 4th. Frosty has 13 and 5th. So 4th may still be on for Eggy. I'm not too sure if he'll be close enough to Yonder. Maybe. He's about 17 behind with 9 to go. You never know how much they can gain. You never know if Evan could take the lead back, even after spinning at the corner or coming up. And heading on to lap 21, he will have 9 laps to extend 3 seconds. And if he keeps going at the pace he has, he will do just that. But Samurai's in the pit lane to deny that. Will Evan try and go to the end? It definitely seems like everyone's doing a 2-stop now. So Samurai pits to cover off any potential undercut from Evan. Will Evan go to the end? Will he risk it? I'm not too sure. Both Williams pit as well. So as well as the McLarens, Kobe's going to lose like maybe half a second because the rear jackman doesn't move. Now he moves. See? And it might be a 1.8 second stop. I'm really not sure. Eggy gets a 3-second time penalty now. Kobe exits the pit lane. There's Frosty Life undercutting the Williams. There's Eggy in the background. There's Kobe exiting the pit lane. Ahead, they're all pretty spaced out. No one really... Yeah, no one's within a second of one another besides the battle for 12th with Dello and Bluey. So Yonder, like I said, if he's going for the 1-stop, while everyone else is for a 2, he was looking okay. Probably never was really going to be the win, but that 10 sec has taken any guesswork out of it. Samurai will surely close that 4-second gap up soon with mediums. I mean, they're going to be a bit worn by the end, but it'll be interesting to see if Evan does pit this lap. You'd think he would. I think he pitted 1 lap later than Samurai in the first stops, so for the second round of stops, it makes sense. But he's staying out. Interesting. Yonder made his mediums go, what, 13 onto 14 laps before puncturing? Evan would have to make his go... what, like 19? It's a big risk from Evan. I'm actually quite surprised he didn't pit. But if he's done that solely based on the fact he's got a 3, he didn't know if he was going to gap Samurai by 3 because Samurai could have kept within DRS and whatnot. If this is the risk he plays, the difference between winning and finishing second, he might take it then. Frosty, I mean, he has that 10 sec, otherwise it would have been, well, beating Kobe at least. Grush, now he has to stick within 3 of Eggy. Warren fighting away with Nathan. Warren really leaving a lot of space to the people he's fighting today, which is great to see. So Nathan is ahead of Warren with barely any battery. But he's got past Warren, who's on really old hard compound tyres, and Christian will be closing up too. Yeah, they're really all separated. Samurai nearly within a second of Yonder. He should catch him at a pretty good time here. He'll be well within the DRS by the time we get to the last corner, and may even get past Yonder heading into turn 1. As Evan is staying out, and it really does look like he's going to go to the end. And I don't really see Samurai catching a 19-second gap. Well, it's actually a 16-second gap. Okay, it's more like a 15-second gap now. In 6 laps. I actually don't know. He's going to... Well, what was Evan do? He was like 32 sixes a few laps ago, so that's 1.5 seconds. Samurai to the inside. Yonder not really putting up a fight. Goes really wide. And yeah, just lets him go. Kobe now fastest lap of the Grand Prix. I mean, he's obviously still set on trying to get that podium. And with 6 laps to go, I'm pretty sure he will be within 7 seconds of Yonder. But it's all going to be based on time pens. Christian now gets past Warren, who's got 30 seconds to Abra. So Warren can pit if he wants to now and get that P10. Wow, really struggling there, isn't he? Right, 18 seconds. But again, it's 15 seconds because of the 3 sec. He's got to go 15 seconds in about 5 or 6 laps, which is about 2.5 seconds a lap he needs. He's going even quick. He's doing 32 threes. Evan is still got life in those tyres. He must have saved some tyre life at the start of the stint when he was behind the cars. But I mean, look at his battery. He's really pushing every lap. So, oh, that's a slide into turn 1 for Evan. Right, 6 to go then. And Samurai needs about 2.5 seconds. So 17.2 needs to go down to about 14.5 by the end of this lap. And honestly, I really don't see that happening. Evan can just nurse his tyres home. I think he'll be alright. But you never know. And, well, I guess for Kobe's sake of getting a podium on debut is how much he fights with Frosty. And Garouche lost 0.3 to Eggy in the last few laps to not get within 3 seconds of him. Christian closing up to Nathan now, but Nathan just has to stick within 9 seconds to get P8 back. So doesn't really need to fight it too much. Christian, another penalty, unfortunately. So maybe Warren can stick within 6 seconds now. Eggy pulling away from Garouche. And yeah, Evan has taken a big gamble. Samurai lost out on P2 last week because he had to make a second stop. Finished 4th in the end. Couldn't catch up to 3rd, which was Garouche at the time. It may be a repeat for the Williams, kind of proving that while 2 stops are much more feasible in this game compared to the last few, it still looks like the 1 stop is always going to be the better one, because there's no guarantee you're going to make up 20 odd seconds in however many laps. And well, I said it needed to be 14.5, it's 15.5. With 5 to go, he needs 12.5 seconds in 5 laps. He needs Evan to either have his tyres completely fall off the cliff or make some kind of big error. Kobe gets past Frosty into turn 1, or does he? Frosty to the inside. Was ahead at the apex, but now will leave the room, or will he? As they bang wheels. But Kobe has got ahead of Frosty even after that contact. And will Frosty go for the move to the inside? Kobe leaves the door open for him. Hangs it round the outside. Bit reminiscent of a few laps ago. He's placed his car perfectly. Has Kobe on debut and is ahead of Frosty Life. And now he needs to try and push to get within 7 seconds of Yonder to try and take away a podium. Yonder, even after the speeding pen, it may still be 4th at least. Otherwise, it would have definitely probably been a podium. So the 1 stop for Yonder has still worked out at least to give him a podium, considering he was down in 7th and 8th and whatnot earlier in the race. And I'm sure Kobe will be able to close in as long as Frosty and Kobe don't squabble too much. But yeah, elbows out, but Kobe still got ahead in similar fashion to last time. Yeah, 15.5 has only gone down to 14.5 1 lap later. Samurai's not taking enough out of Evan, who's still got the tyre life. He won by 18 seconds in Japan, and it's still a similar gap. I'm sure by the end of the race, it'll go down to maybe 10-ish. And then obviously with the pen, it'll go down to about 7-ish. With 4 to go. But yeah. I mean, it's not really over until he crosses that line, like we saw with Yonder with that puncture. But Evan has been good at nursing his tyres. A little bit of a mistake there. He's about to lap Bluey. Might even get some DRS if he catches him at the right time. Garouche has been pushing a little as Christian gets past Nathan. Nathan just has to stick within 12 seconds of him. Garouche has been pushing a little, trying to get under 3 seconds of Eggy. It's going to be close between them. I mean, Eggy's within 10 seconds of Frosty Life, so he should get 5th. Garouche, is he within 13 of Frosty? Yeah, just about. Maybe 4/10 within it. So he's trying to get 6th. Frosty's still sticking with Kobe, who still needs to gain 1 more second on Yonder to get that podium. But the rate he's going, he should. As long as he doesn't battle too much with Frosty, that could be what costs him. And, well, you can see, if Frosty's just sticking with Kobe, he can try and get 10 seconds over Eggy, because the gap is nearly that. 13.9, it is just simply not enough. Samurai's not even gaining a second a lap now. have his mediums worn off? Has anyone got any fuel concerns? Nope. Frosty's lost a second now to Kobe. And Kobe is within 7 seconds of Yonder now to make it a Williams 2-3, which will be still a great result for them. And even after a spin at the final corner, Evan has opted for the one stop of medium hard. The only other driver to do that really was Yonder. But he sped and stayed out way longer than Evan did. So that's allowed Evan to have a huge buffer by the end. And well, his older brother, who may be coaching him today, I'm not too sure, was Tier 2 champion by taking these kinds of bold but smart strategies. His older brother actually did spin here as well and still come up to finish on the podium in the opening round of his championship winning season. Turn 4 on the opening lap, Logan spun down to last. Still came back to finish second, fighting for the win by the last lap. Frosty now gets another time penalty, so I think that kind of confirms Eggy will beat him, and so will Grush, I think. But yeah, Evan, who also had a spin on, I think, was it the opening lap or the second? It was the second lap. And he's come back through with a smart strategy. The younger brother is now going to be the new World Championship leader. And even though he was technically tied with Martin in P2 on 37, he was technically second because Martin got the win first and whatnot. They finished fourth and first and fourth. Now they're going to be 1-2, separated by 7 points. And what really did look to be going the way of Samurai for a lot of the race. Yeah, Evan has really held it together with his tyres. And has now just got 1 and a bit laps to go before he can claim a back-to-back victories in EXFL Tier 2 in Season 11. This being, his 10th race? He did 7 Grand Prix a few seasons back. Didn't really amount to much, a few points or whatnot. And he's really returned in Season 11 and has really bounced back. Last week he said, don't expect much from me. He delivered a masterclass of a drive. This week he said he really don't expect much from me. He said, if I'm on the podium, I'm going to crash out. Well, it's going to be, once again, maximum points for the Aston Martin, even after a spin, as Nathan is ahead of Christian there. Doesn't really need to fight too much. He knows he'll get P8. Warren has also tried to do the one stop along with Yonder and Evan. And we haven't had any safety cars today or VSCs. We've just lost the one retirement of Charlie, who obviously, I think he had a knee problem. So he retired early on, he couldn't brake or whatnot. And yeah, Evan nursing those really worn hard tyres. 19 laps, longer than anyone else. Well, Warren, I guess, has also gone 19 laps too. Eggy gets another time penalty. That could damage his result. Christian versus Nathan, slight contact. Shouldn't really do too much. Evan then has 1 set to go. And he'll win the race by just under 10 seconds, it seems, from Samurai. 2 corners left then for what has been another outstanding drive. This time fully focused on the strategy. And it has paid off for Navek. Round the final corner then, it's going to be back-to-back victories. And it's going to be the championship lead for Navek 11. Evan Kelly wins the Bahrain Grand Prix in tremendous style and tremendous fashion. Samurai will come home for P2 then. 7 points trailing. He loses out today and in the championship. And it will be P2 for the Williams driver. I think that's Abra who's spun in P11. So Yonder will cross the line in third. But it won't be third with the speeding pen. It would without it. It's going to be Kobe on debut, finishing on the podium to make it a Williams 2 and 3. Frosty Life finishes 5th on track. And will he finish ahead of Eggy with the 6 seconds now? It'll be close. I think Frosty has lost out, unfortunately. Grush now, where will he finish? 7th, 6th, 5th? It's 5th for Grush because of that extra pen for Eggy. Grush gets 5th. Christian will cross the line. Nathan will pick up 8th for his 8th, I think, points finish in a row. So great stuff for RB. Christian will finish 9th. Warren 10th. He managed to make the halves last to the end. Same with Yonder. Same with Evan. Dello 12th. Bluey 13th. Abra will finish 11th. And yeah, spectacular stuff from Evan to win again. It was going to be one of these two. And for, like I said, a lot of the race, it was looking like Samurai. But Evan's done it. And that makes it 3 out of 3 poles converted into victories in Tier 2 Season 11. So there we have it. Evan brilliantly wins the Bahrain Grand Prix by gambling on the one stop, ahead of both Williams, who chose the two stop. Yeah, Kobe gets the podium on debut. Because he's not Xbox, unfortunately, I don't think I can interview him. He gets fastest lap as well, which was great. And yeah, Evan was just so consistent with his lap times, doing 32.6s constantly, even doing 3s a few laps after that. Really pushing the limits there. Right, let's get the top 2 in then. Hopefully the party will work this week. Hope you all enjoyed that race as well. That was actually very exciting and interesting throughout the race, with all the strategies, penalties, battles. Bahrain does usually always serve up some very interesting driving. As we have
before a race ever again.
As we have the race winner joining, and hopefully P2 as well in a minute. Let's go to the showroom.
I actually feel no, because now I feel like every time I say that, I'm just coming across as cocky. So I'm just banning myself from talking before races now.
Nah, man, it doesn't make you come across as cocky. Don't worry. It underestimates you, really. It just makes your drives that ever more impressive. Anyway, Evan has joined the party. Have you included your audio, mate?
I have, mate.
Right. So yeah, Samurai still doesn't have a mic, so hopefully he'll plan on getting one. So it's just you today, but I think that's all we need. So yeah, Kobe, like I'll just say real quick, well done, podium on debut. Williams are definitely going to be in this fight for the constructors. Well done, Samurai on P2, great drive. Both opting for the two-stop. He's just messaged me saying he gets his strategies from real-life Ferrari. I don't blame him. But yeah, Evan, you have won the Bahrain Grand Prix. Back-to-back victories. Not bad for your 10th race in Tier 2.
Yeah, it was... I mean, as you probably saw, it was a Grand Prix at that. I mean, qualifying P1 by about 2/10, something like that, I think it was. Don't know where I got that from.
You got a nice bit of slipstream from the Alpine.
Oh yeah, I've got the Alpine to thank to that. But I don't know where all of that pace came from in Sector 1. As I said last week in the interview, Turn 4. I said was the burden of my life, and somehow I've managed to almost perfect that corner.
Well, it's
Still a few corners that I was struggling to like deal with, like
mm,
that final corner. I don't think I hit the apex once in the 29 laps that I did today, but I think it was an all right Grand Prix.
I think that's an understatement. Yeah, it's the last run of qualifying, giving it everything. I was monitoring all the set times, and I think all the top guys were doing point twos. You did a point one, so already I was thinking, hang on, is he about to do what he did last week, where he's kind of nowhere all session, and then right at the end blitz, and then obviously the Alpine gave you a bit of help throughout most of the lap to put you on pole position. And like I pointed out, every driver who started on pole this season has gone on to convert it into victory. Um, so yeah, the start was very hectic. You fighting Kobe for those first few corners. You lost the lead momentarily, and then what happened on the run up to four?
Um, wait, what did happen on the run up to four again? I kind of forgot.
Did you? Because for my guess, you blasted your battery to try and get back ahead or something. Because he was
Oh
ahead.
yeah. Oh yeah. No. I just sent it
Fair enough.
and it stuck, and I don't know if I made contact with the person on me outside, but I saw that the arrows went double white, so I thought, is it worth moving across here? And it turns out it was. I don't think anyone lost much time, so I
No,
just went on from there.
it looked fine from the offboard. So yeah, because I was saying Kobe on debut leads into turn two and whatnot. I was just covering the rest of the field, and then I cut back to turn four, and suddenly you're back ahead. So great stuff there. But then at the end of lap one, Dello spun on the final corner exit, and then at the end of lap two, you spun on the final corner exit. What happened there?
I think it was just a mix of um, if you don't know me already, I'm not very good at managing my tires. So I think if I recall on lap two, those back tires were on about 15%, and I was in
Wow.
communication with Yonder the entire race, and he said I think his were on like 9 or something like that. So I think it was just a big deal of I got throttle happy, or there was just a little bit too less grip for me,
What
but
about
I
Logan?
went round.
Was Logan there today, or?
No, Logan was watching the stream now. I
Ah,
went
right,
into his
okay.
room and I said I won another EXFL race, and he said I know I saw. So
Nice. Yeah, because I was reminiscing about a certain drive he did. What was it, a year and a half ago? He spun at turn four on the exit on the opening lap and dropped
oh
all the way down to last, and still, by the end of the last lap, finished right behind the winner to finish P2. So it was a little reminiscent seeing that because you spun, dropped down to what, eighth, ninth, and just slowly
yeah.
made your way back through the field. Um, that's one of the funniest and ironic things I've heard in a while. You said, I'm not great at managing my tyres when you've just gone 20 laps on the hard compound tyres from lap 8, 9 to the end, and that's what won you the race, the one-stop gamble. What were your tyres on
Yeah.
at the end?
Um, about the same as Suzuka. The front left was on 77, and I think the rear was on
Wow.
72. The right tires, they don't exactly take a beating at this track, so it doesn't exactly matter. But
Right. Because again, I was
uh,
monitoring your lap times. You were doing constant 32 sixes when you were closing up to Samurai, about 6, 7 tenths quicker a lap. He was staying around 70 to 90% battery. He wasn't pushing, but clearly you were. And when he pitted, I fully expected you maybe one lap later to pit again, but no, you just stayed out. He couldn't catch. I don't think he ever was really going to catch you. But he just didn't even break under the 9 second gap by the last lap. Um,
yeah,
and even with that 3 second, tremendous. Because as much as you were doing constant 32 sixes, you then went into the 32 threes, even towards the end, which was incredible. Really good consistency. And to only have 77% tyre wear after 20 laps, again, that's like 3 point something a lap, which I guess is kind of average for the hards, but still really strong stuff. Because Yonder, because I'm guessing you were in the call with him,
yeah, I was
he,
with
he,
the
he got he
call.
got a
Yeah.
puncture heading into the pit lane when he made a stop or
Oh,
something.
yeah, he said that. He said as he got to the pits, one of his tires blew out and it compromised his braking, so we got a
Yeah,
10-second, I do
yeah.
believe. So
I caught the end of that just as he'd sped, and I saw as he went into his pit box, his front left looked really weird, and then I realised there was a puncture. Ah, the timing. Otherwise, he would have got third today, which is crushing considering you and him
oh.
were seventh and eighth or so. I don't know what Yonder was doing throughout turn three for a lot of that race. He kept losing the car or something.
Oh, yeah, no, he mentioned that so much. He said that he actually just can't do
Oh,
turn
okay.
three consistently. It was just because I think he's moved back to wheel now,
Right.
so he's just trying to get to grips with everything.
Fair
So
enough. I mean, it's still a P4, even with that 10, which is a really strong drive for the one stop. Yeah, you, Yonder, and Warren were the only ones to do a one stop, and all three of you benefited. Warren got a point because of it. Yonder, instead of maybe seventh or whatnot, got fourth, and you, instead of maybe P2, got the win instead. That I said that was what the difference was between you maybe finishing second to getting first, because at the rate you were going, let's say if Samurai also tried to go to the end, you would have got past him, and then you would have had to try and get 3 seconds within maybe 6, 7, whatever laps. And as much as you were 6/10 whatever quicker, Samurai still would have been within your DRS, so it may not have been as easy. So that gamble, I can clearly see why you went for it. I can see why Samurai went for his, because he did the same last week and lost out on a
yeah,
podium.
I was saying I saw him going to the pits and I said he's done the same as last week.
And both times he just hasn't been able to catch the guy. Last week missed out on a
Yeah.
podium. Today he's missed out on a win, which is unfortunate. But that does mean, after you two were level, you now officially lead the World Championship for the first time, which is
Yay.
great. That's 52 points for you, 45 points for Martin. It looks like you two are the two to beat. Kobe, on debut, was in the fight. Seems like his race pace and his battery management could do with a bit of work, though. And I'm sure other people like Josh, who was racing in the first race, and a few others might still be in the fight. But yeah, you two have definitely started this season off very strong. For you, it's fourth, first, and for Samurai, it's first, fourth, second. So yeah, today was really the only difference. So yeah, incredible drive once again. As for next week, Saudi Arabia. How are you feeling about that?
Oh no. You know what? I I'm gonna say it, and I'm gonna be truthfully honest. I don't feel as confident that I could get a win. Maybe a
Right,
podium, because I've really got to work on my locking up, and locking up around there can be very prominent in some of the corners. So,
right. Yeah, that's fair. I
but
mean,
I we'll
y-
tackle that obstacle when we get to it, and I am
exactly.
very much looking forward to it.
Thank you. And great. Yeah, there's always just, I mean, any advice would just be just increase the brake bias by one or something, and just keep finding a middle ground for it.
Oh
Like
yeah, on
today,
lap 26, sorry,
yeah,
on lap 26, I had a little moment down in turn one where
I think
the
I caught
rears did
that.
in fact lock up, and
Yeah,
I said, right, that's it. Brake bias up to 55 to make sure that them
right,
rears
yeah,
don't lock again. So I
fair
was
enough.
running 55 until the end of the race. So
That'll
braking
probably
was that
be
tiny bit harder.
a similar thing next week, mainly into turn one as well and the last corner. 53, 54. If it really gets bad, then yeah, 55 by the end. But next week's 25 laps should be a one stop, unlike today. Today was definitely the most difficult in terms of tyre wear so far. And like I was saying, the next, well, 3 races in a row, this is one of the 3, are night races. We've got Bahrain, then Saudi, then Qatar. And from the last couple of games, Qatar has been the worst track of any for tyre wear. It's ridiculous. So it's going to be very interesting to see that in a fortnight. But yeah, on to Saudi. Well done today on the win. Back-to-back victories. You lead the World Championship. It's been an incredible start for you. So yeah, well done today and good luck for next week.
Thank you very much.
Okay, that has been the Bahrain Grand Prix of Tier 2 Season 11, Round 3. We will see you next week for Round 4 in Saudi Arabia. Tier 1 tomorrow, same time, also at Bahrain. We'll see how that goes. But yeah, Kobe, podium on debut, Samurai second, and Evan, race winner.